In 2016, Mojang began contacting and blacklisting Minecraft servers that violated their End-User License Agreement, or EULA, which is essentially a set of rules that players and server owners must follow. Server owners, who for the past 7 years could run their servers as they saw fit, now had to make sure that they were abiding by Mojang's rule system. At times, servers would be blacklisted without warning, with server owners only finding out what happened after realizing no one could connect to their server and contacting Mojang support themselves. Over the years, this system has grown and changed, oftentimes without notice, to disallow gambling mechanics, pay-to-win elements, firearms, bullying, and more. Very recently, the oldest Minecraft server, Minecraft Online, was threatened with a blacklist due to its policy on free speech. The oldest Anarchy server, 2b2t, was also notified after 15 years of its existence that its allowance of free speech and free builds allowed for hateful content, and that it would be blacklisted unless its rules were modified. SalC1 did a great video covering this, which I will link below. This video is not meant to enter into the EULA or free speech debates. There are certainly great points on both sides, and plenty of other videos which discuss the issue at length. People have lots of opinions about it to the point where a lawsuit is supposedly being raised. My goal today is to share a story of another Anarchy server, PurityVanilla, which started way back in 2019. Oh my gosh, that was 7 years ago. I feel old. I started playing on PurityVanilla in 2021. PurityVanilla, while not as big as servers like 2b2t, is one of the bigger Anarchy servers out there, regularly seeing over 50 players online. Purity is similar to 2b2t, as players can go and blow up each other's bases, but holds closer to vanilla gameplay by disallowing hacks and glitches, something I really enjoy. Also similar to 2b2t, Purity allows for anything to be said or built in-game. More accurately, it allowed those things in the past tense. This story begins on December 26 of 2025, when Purity was blacklisted without a word of communication from Mojang. I've talked with Penguin, the server's owner, and he's been very open about the chain of events, providing screenshots of his attempts to get in touch with Mojang and figure out what to do next. These screenshots will be provided in this video. Whether you agree with Purity's open rules or not, it would be a nightmare to suddenly have your server's doors forcibly shut without warning, and have to scramble to figure out what to do. While in Purity's case, there's still a way to access the server, no one knows whether Mojang will take further action to either scrub this wild west of a server squeaky clean, or shut it down entirely. Let's walk through the weeks following the initial blacklisting. The same day Penguin realized that the server had been blacklisted, he submitted an appeal. The next day, not having heard back, he created a support ticket, requesting the reasoning for the blacklist. On December 28th, Penguin received a response to his support ticket. However, it didn't seem like Mojang had actually read what Penguin wrote. The response was very vague and general, and requested more information on why the server had been blacklisted, which, of course, Penguin could not provide, given that he was not communicated with beforehand. 2 days later, Penguin responded explaining the situation and asking for a timeline of when he might hear a response back so they could make the necessary steps to become compliant with the EULA and restore the server access. The next day, Penguin received a response that said, "Hello, thank you for requesting a Minecraft server review. Please allow a window of time for reviews to be processed. Submitting multiple reports on the same server does not speed up the review process or timing. This ticket will be resolved. If you have additional questions, please open a new ticket." 3 days later, on January 3rd of 2026, Penguin sent an email directly to Mojang Enforcement. In his email, Penguin explained the same thing that he had on the support ticket. He also emphasized the fact that he could not provide more information on why the server was blacklisted because it hadn't been communicated. He also asked Mojang what steps were needed for the server to become unblocked. 3 days passed without any word, and on January 6th, Penguin opened another support ticket. In this support ticket, he provided a bit more detail, saying, "I'm writing to request guidance about an enforcement issue. My server, PurityVanilla, was blocked without prior warning on the 26th of December. It has since been revealed to me that this was the result of mass reporting by a group of banned players who have also been behind an ongoing DDoS attack against my server. I opened a ticket a couple of days after submitting the appeal, which was closed on the 30th of December. without any further elaboration of the reasoning behind the block. You can tell here that Penguin is confused and frustrated. 11 days with your main IP being completely blocked, probably making it a lot harder for new players to join the server, is a long time to go, especially when you don't even know why you were blocked. Mojang did respond to an email that day, but the only thing they said was to resubmit the appeal form. Of course, the enforcement team wouldn't get any new information because Penguin still was in the dark. The next day, Penguin followed instructions and submitted another server appeal. On January 8th, the second support ticket was closed. 5 days passed without any communication from Mojang. We are now at January 13th. Penguin sent a second email. The same day this second email was sent, Penguin sent a Discord message to a Mojang enforcement team member. This message again explained everything that had been going on and that Penguin was still in the dark about what happened. Within a few hours of this Discord message, one of the server appeals was answered for the first time. This response finally gave some reasoning for why the server had been blacklisted, stating, "You must have 0 builds and chat that are tied to hate speech and/or discrimination." So, the staff team started implementing new rules and policy changes, and started designing a process where staff could get rid of this type of content from the server. 2 days after this, Penguin again emailed, replying to the server appeal, letting Mojang enforcement know that changes had been implemented and were being worked on to follow the EULA guidelines. Penguin asked for confirmation that Mojang understood that steps were being taken, and asked if anything else needed to be adjusted for the server to be unblocked. All of this brings us to today, 22 days at the time of recording here on January 17th. Penguin made a few statements which I want to read here on his views on this whole situation. Number 1. While the lack of initial contact is understandable due to the difficulty in accessing the admin contact email, the delay in response after Mojang enforcement was contacted is unacceptable given the severity of a domain-wide server block. This is in reference to something Penguin and I chatted about, which is that his email was not easily accessible and was only visible on the donation or store page, making it harder for Mojang to find it. Due to this, they supposedly just blocked the server as a way to get his attention. Point number 2. Regardless of the politics of enforcing EULA compliance, the way in which this situation was handled caused far more harm to PurityVanilla and its players than was necessary, leaving us inaccessible to new players for weeks during one of the most popular times of the year. Number 3. If Mojang refused to reach server administrators on Discord through our official support channels, and blocked the server as a form of making contact, why was the only way to receive a human response to any appeal or other communication to contact Mojang enforcement on Discord? This is in reference to the fact that the server appeal was answered within a few hours of Penguin messaging someone on Discord. Obviously not an official form of communication. And finally, number 4. PurityVanilla will comply with Mojang's requests freely, but more clarification on moderation policy and examples of what constitutes a EULA violation are required for private servers to understand the intentions of Mojang enforcement. So what's your take on Mojang's recent changes to and enforcement of the EULA? Do you think the guidelines are clear and fair? Do you think server owners should be able to make their own rules as they used to? How does this multiplayer warning tie into the conversation, or the new age verification system? Can we really call servers like PurityVanilla or 2b2t Anarchy anymore? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. People are likely to have disagreements on this topic, and it would be incredibly ironic for me to go in and delete comments on this video, so please be warned, and please stay respectful. Thanks so much for watching.